This is Angie, and I am here with Darrel Dennis, who is the writer and the director of the Sweet Summer Pow Wow. Hi, Darrel. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
Is this your first time directing a movie?
No, it's not. I directed a movie before this called The Great Salish Heist. That was my first feature film, but before that, I was directing television. I Right before I did this, I was directing a TV series called The Guilt-Free Zone on APTN, which is the Aboriginal People's Television Network in Canada. So it was a comedy show, and that was a lot of fun.
Oh, so it's not new for you. Can you tell us a little bit of the story?
For Sweet Summer Pow Wow?
Yes, yes.
Yes. Yeah, the so Sweet Summer Powwow is I would describe it as basically the indigenous version of Romeo and Juliet. It follows the life of two indigenous teens, Riley and Ginny. Um, Both are sort of dealing with troubled past. They each have their own sort of troubled path. Ginny is going away to a school that she doesn't want to go to have start a life that she doesn't really want to have. And Riley is, faced with a very troubled home life that is really bringing him down, and he has dreams that are he's having a tough time really having the self-esteem to follow. And they sort of what happens is they meet on the powwow trail, and they fall in love, and it just follows their sort of their journey falling in love, and the obstacles that they have to overcome with that, and the people that are trying to tear them apart, and the journey of them trying to find love, and most importantly to find their dreams, and really just sort of find out who they are and who they want to be as people going forward in their lives.
Sweet story. I cannot wait to see it. I could not watch it yet. In Europe, I have a little trouble to access movies, but I hope I can watch it soon.
I hope so
How,
too.
how
Hmm.
long does it take from writing a story to actually filming it?
Yeah, so this one actually happened fairly quickly. I mean, for some movies, it can take, decades to get a movie done. This one actually, we were very lucky. This one happened within the course of like 3 years, I would say, from writing the script to actually getting it filmed. So, and then there's the post-production, what happens afterwards, where you have to, edit it and get the special effects and the titling in. That took a little bit longer, but yeah, it was actually a fairly quick process. So we were pretty lucky about that. I finished filming the other movie, The Great Salish Heist, and then immediately afterwards we started pre-production for Sweet Summer Pow Wow, which is incredibly that doesn't really happen all that often. So I was incredibly lucky to be able to do that.
Interesting you saying that it's not long. For 3 years for me, it seems very long time, but I think in film industry, it's a short time, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And especially for a producer and especially for producer and directors and stuff, you really have to feel passionately about a film and a project because you are going to be spending so much time, so much of your entire life is going to be devoted to this one project that if you don't feel passionately about it, then why are you doing it? Because it can take years. And like I said, for some people, they have passion projects which can take almost a lifetime to get done,
Oh, yeah.
so like I said, some movies take, 10, 20 years before they finally get made. It's crazy.
Where can we watch the movie?
Well, it currently had a theatrical run in Canada.
Yeah.
There's still theaters that it's being run on. Hopefully, it'll start showing in the United States. But then, I believe it's going to be airing on TV in Canada as well on the Crave network. And once that happens, once we fulfill our television obligations in Canada, then sales happen elsewhere outside of Canada. So hopefully, it'll start happening in the United States and internationally. Then you'll be able to start seeing it in Europe and all over the world. Hopefully after that.
Yeah, I know I have to be patient, but
Yeah.
I really cannot wait to see it. Indigenous community lost a special someone because Graham Greene inspired many actors. You worked with him. in this movie as well. Do you have any story you would like to share with us?
Well, the thing about Graham, as you said, he inspired so many people. I mean, I started acting. I started off in the industry when Graham Greene won the Academy Award or was nominated for the Academy Award for Dances with Wolves. So when I started off, I mean, he was already breaking down doors for years and years and years before I even started. So he was already in the trenches. He was already, fighting to blaze the trails for people like me to start off as an actor and as a writer and a filmmaker. So he was, when I was coming up, I admired him. I was like, he was my hero because, he was one of the first Native actors to be nominated for an Academy Award. And the great thing I loved about Graham was that he was a Native actor who was, yes, he was playing those roles that took place back in the 1800s and the 1700s. He was playing the ones where he was in, feathers and buckskin and stuff. But the thing that for myself and for a lot of other native actors, he was playing roles that were modern day natives. He was playing cops and he was playing judges and he was playing, just regular ordinary people, which is something that we as native people didn't get to see ourselves portrayed as. For a lot of native people, we're often seen as, remnants of the past, and we get really tired of seeing that because it for us, it sort of people it sort of shows us like, oh, we don't exist anymore. And there's a lot of people in North America, even in America, who think we're extinct. So what Graham was doing was he was really showing, pushing for our dignity and showing us as modern day people who deserved respect in a modern day society. So he was really important for my growth and for my pride as an actor and for my work going forward. You know, um, so as I started creating my own projects, I created a TV pilot, and we were lucky enough to be able to get Graham Greene to come in and be in that TV pilot. And it was my first time working with him ages ago, and it was kind of a half-hour TV comedy where if the TV pilot didn't get picked up, but if it did, it would have been my character, and he would have been this really funny ghost who would have haunted my apartment all the time, and it was really fun, and we had a really good time doing it. So he remembered me, and then years later, as I kept developing and I started directing my own stuff, TV, and then this film, this Great Salish Heist, we contacted Graham later on and said, "There's this part, and there's this comedy. It's this heist movie, an indigenous heist movie where these characters go into the museum and they steal their artifacts back from the museum and bring them back to their community. And we want you to play the chief in it. It's a really fun role." And what Graham said was, he said, "Great, I don't get to do a lot of comedies because he's always in these, serious movies with
Yes.
the, native people." So yeah, he read the script and he loved it. He laughed out loud and he said, "I don't get a lot of chance to be in comedies and to do, funny stuff." So he loved it, and he said he remembered working with me before, and he said, "Oh yeah, I loved doing it. So yeah, I'll totally do it." So we did that film, and we had another great time. And after that, he said, "Darrel, anything you want me to be in, I'm there." Right. So then we did Sweet Summer Pow Wow, and his role actually wasn't that big before. It was like one scene, but when Graham wrote up and said, "Hey, do you got anything else for me to do?" He said, "Graham, you wanna come on board? We'll write this role." So myself and the co-writer Katya, we developed the role for him, and he came in, and it's just so that's I mean, long story short, the thing is that for me, it was really exciting because he started off being my hero and somebody I looked up to at the very beginning of my career. And then, he really inspired me. And then it's really amazing that, at the end of his life, I got to, write for him and direct him at the end of his career too. So it's kind of goes, we talk in Native culture about the circles and the circle
Yeah.
of life and that sort of thing. So it all sort of like, I feel like it really sort of, he started me off and then I was there at the end of his life. And it just really felt, I really got to thank him for that, and I'm glad that I was able to be able to call him a friend at the end of at the end of his life, and it just it really meant a lot to me that we were able to share that time, and he was a huge part of my career at the end, at the beginning and at the end as well too, and and as a friend as well too. So yeah, it's a huge loss for me, and it's a shame because we were also developing another movie as well too, before he passed away. So we were in contact with that. So it's a shame we'll never get to see, him in that, because that was an even bigger comedy that he would have loved. It was even
Mhm.
funnier. So he would have really, really loved it. He read the script, he loved it too, and he was like he couldn't wait to do it. So it's a shame, but I'm sure he's on the other side making people laugh over there as well too.
That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, for
You know,
sure.
Hungary is not a big country, but even here, um, or you can read in the news that he passed away, and people loved him all over the real world and admired him. So it's a great loss
Absolutely.
for the whole world, I think.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That is the thing, is like as we were, we cast him in the films because he's an amazing actor and stuff, but also, people all over the world knew who he was as well too. And it's not surprising because he's an amazing talent in every movie
Yeah.
he's ever been in. He's acted alongside Hollywood's biggest stars, and he's not only held his own, but sometimes, in my opinion, stolen entire movies from like
Mm,
Hollywood's biggest stars. I think
exactly.
he's outshone them in many movies. So yeah, it is a huge loss. He was an amazing talent.
Mm.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite moment on set? Funny or any interesting behind the scenes story you have?
Um, you know, I, I I love them all. I mean, as a director, I like to keep sets loose. I mean, I guess some of the funniest stuff is with Graham actually, because he likes to improvise a lot, and I think one of the reasons he really liked to work with me is because I just kind of let him go. So there's a lot of times he would go a little too much, and sometimes I'd have to go, okay, Graham, that was funny. But remember, there are some points that you got to hit and you go, oh, yeah, 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 all right, all right, right, right. But I guess I remember, it wasn't on this film, but the last film, The Great Salish Heist, his first day on set, I knew he liked to improvise because I'd worked with him before. But the script supervisor who's there, who's there to keep track of all the lines and make sure everything is said right, and that sort of thing. It's their job to make sure they usually like follow every single word and make sure everything is there. And if something is not said right, they usually come up to the actor afterwards and said, you said them instead of thee, and it's usually very precise and that sort of thing. So I was getting ready to, and I was directing and acting at the same time. So I was getting ready to, I was watching Graham, as a scene between Graham and I, and I knew that the script supervisor was outside, watching on the monitor. I was like, okay, here's what's gonna happen. I know it's gonna happen. So I said, Graham, you ready? He goes, yeah, I'm ready. He goes, okay, action. And like nothing in the script was coming out of his mouth, and he just went on and on and on. I was like, and I knew this was gonna happen. So Graham and I were just improvising the scene out, and I went, when he finally stopped talking, I went, cut. And I went out to the script supervisor, and the co-writer was there, and basically the scene was basically the script supervisor was like looking at the screen, just started flipping through all the pages looking for where we were. And couldn't tell where it was. It's like I knew this was gonna happen. I just said to the script supervisor, okay, look, the next time Graham has a scene, just put the put the script down. Well, don't worry, I'm the director. I'll figure it out. I know how to work with Graham. It's okay. I know. Don't worry about it. I got it. Just do your best. Yeah. So those are fun. I mean, that comes to the top of my mind because Graham's on my mind right there. I remember those things. But the thing is that I knew how Graham worked. I knew already what it was I wanted, and I knew how to do that. So yeah, it was like those are the fun moments for me. I really liked riffing with Graham and that sort of thing, just seeing what came out of his mouth. A lot of the stuff we couldn't use because it was just like way out there, but it was always fun to see what he would come up with next.
Well, thank you so much for your time. Keep doing this great work, and congratulations on Sweet Summer Pow Wow, and wishing you all the best.
Thank you so much.